Hello everyone, Ryan here with Product Impressions. I wore a smartwatch for a very long time. It's still good, still works. I had it for, I don't even know, 5 years, 6 years, seven maybe, however long ago it was that smartwatches first started coming out. I used a smartwatch for a very long time. I started wanting something a little bit more classic, so I put together this watch from the DIY Watch Club, and now I've been given the opportunity to try something that is pretty much directly in between the two, and that is the Withings Scanwatch Horizon. So this watch should have a more classic appearance, but also have some smartwatch functionality where it will show notifications and things like that. But also, it's supposed to be very good as far as health scanning with electrocardiograms, sleep tracking, activity tracking, showing smartphone notifications. So as far as all of this tracking is concerned, most of the time I'm referring back to whatever I get from the Aura ring that I wear. So I can actually compare what this says as far as activity and sleep are concerned to what the Aura says, and just see how they compare. Yeah, so let's go ahead and open this up and get everything set up. All right, so here is the watch. I've gone ahead and cut the little pieces of tape that were already on here, and it looks like this is a pretty nice looking watch. That comes in both blue and green. I went with the blue one. I've gone back and forth as to whether or not I should have gone with the green, but yeah, should be interesting. Oh, when I remove this, it started to come on. Hello, set up, bonjour. So of course we have the charger for it. Everything is very tightly in this case. Some extra links to adjust the length of the band. Tool to get the band out in the first place. Alright, well, I'm assuming that you can actually see just everything that's in there. Got the charger. I'm assuming all of this is to help with removing the band and getting things set up. And it did come with a secondary band here. It's one of those, just plastic rubber kind of bands. I've never been really big on those, so I'll probably just leave it with the bracelet. But yeah, let's get this out and set up. After a week or so of using this Scanwatch Horizon from Withings, I must say there are some serious limitations to it. One thing that I noticed, I wear a watch all the time, and after putting this on, my first thought was, this thing's pretty heavy. And I still think it's pretty heavy. After wearing it for a week or so, there have been a couple of times where sitting at my computer doing work, it just starts to feel like it's too much, and I wind up taking it off, or at least loosening the strap or something like that. As far as the functionality of this watch, the interface on it is pretty simple. It's entirely done through the crown on the side here. You press it in, turns on the screen, and as you roll the crown, there it's checking heart rate, giving the number of steps, and you can just kind of scroll through and see all of the different options it has on here. This is how you access checking your blood oxygenation, the ECG, all of that. I must say the sensors on here do seem to be good. Oftentimes with the amount of hair that I have on my arms, any sensors in smartwatches have tended to not be able to pick up what my heart rate actually is. But it didn't seem to be a problem here with either the EKG or checking my heart rate. There was a couple of times where I had to do it twice because it failed to get a reading the first time. It's entirely possible the band was a little bit looser at that point or something like that. But in any case, the sensors do seem to be much better on here. So it seems to be very good as far as the blood oxygenation, heart rate, the ECG, all of that seems to be very good on here. So it is good for that. As far as its activity tracking, there was actually one time where I took a little bit of issue with it, and that is because in a previous video I was showing a standing treadmill that I put underneath my desk while I'm working. Well, if this is just on your wrist, you have to be swinging your arm for it to tell that you're moving. I racked up about 4,000 steps or so on as read by my phone, which was in my pocket at the time, and this picked up nothing because my hand was on the keyboard. So my hand was not moving like the rest of me was, and this picked up absolutely no activity during that. So activity tracking, at other times, it seemed to be good. So if you're not doing something like this particular situation of walking on a treadmill while your hand is still stable, it should work just fine. I suppose that also means that if you are using a treadmill at home and it's a regular treadmill, you can't just have your hand on the rail of it. Yeah, in any case, another functionality of this is sleep tracking, and that's where I would say that this is most deficient. It does not work very well for sleep tracking. On the times where it actually does give a full reading as compared to the Oura Ring that I wear, their readings are pretty close. It gives me the same average heart rate. The sleep cycles that it's showing, there's less detail with what the Withings smartwatch will show you, but it seems to be reasonable. Where it really fails is if you happen to toss and turn, or if you wake up during the night. I mean, normal human sleep patterns is it's fairly novel that we're sleeping 7 or 8 hours at a stretch right now. Usually people had a biphasic sleep pattern where you would wake up in the middle of the night, maybe you get up and do something for a little bit and you go back to sleep. This thing does not track if you wake up and then fall back asleep. And that I noticed the first night that I was wearing this. For some reason, I woke up, I was up for about an hour or two, and then I went back to sleep. This thing never registered that I went back to sleep. So it said that I slept for like 2 hours for the entire night. I have also had it happen where, according to my ring, I have woken up for a matter of a minute or so before I fall back asleep. The watch said I just woke up and got up for the day, and once again registered that I only slept for like 2 hours. There have also been times where the ring catches absolutely nothing. I feel like I sleep all the way through, and this still thinks that I wake up after only a few hours. So there seems to be something very wrong with the whatever algorithms they use to track your sleep. This is something that I'm assuming could be fixed by a software update. Hopefully they will actually do that, because until they do, I would not trust this at all as far as tracking your sleep. That also raises some questions about other functions that they offer, which through the app you can get PDF forms of how your heart rate has been, how you've been sleeping, things like that, to share with your doctor. I would not trust the sleep data coming out of this. Activity, probably. Heart rate, probably. It seems to do well for that. It tracks well throughout the day. But if you're looking at anything sleep related, no. They need to do some serious fixing on this before that actually happens. Otherwise, stylistically, I really like it. It's very nice. It did take me probably 3 or 4 tries of making little adjustments in the links, taking out one link, putting in, there's kind of one small link here that's smaller than all the rest of them. Just kind of moving links around to try and get it to where that it was comfortable for me to wear. But once you have it set, you don't have to worry about that. So you may take 3 or 4 tries, as I did, to get it to a place where it's really comfortable to wear. But once it's good, it's good. So yeah, overall, hopefully this has been of some help to you. If you have any questions about this Withings Scanwatch Horizon, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. I will see you next time.